Good morning, 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 everyone. Welcome to Rise and Shine, sponsored by FilAm Creative. Rise and Shine will begin in just a few minutes. We're streaming live today here on Facebook and on Zoom. So if you're watching us right now, make sure to tell your friends, catch us live on Facebook, and have those great questions ready for our friends from Yellow Rose. You can see us on YouTube and in podcast form starting very, very soon. And before we get to Ed and Rex and our friends from Yellow Rose, let's go ahead and meet two of our fantastic folks from the Executive Board of FilAm Creative. Ladies and gentlemen, let's say rise and shine and good morning to Ronnie and Kami.
Good morning.
Rise and shine, Ronnie. 11 years. Everyone.
Oh my gosh. Yes, you're absolutely right, Kami. 11 years FilAm Creative has been helping with the inclusion and diversity and just showing the world that the Filipino entertainment community is here and we're talented. We're apparently organized together and we want to just show everybody what's out there.
We're full of energy. And look I realized that I do have 11 right here.
There you 11. Go. You've waited 11.
The birthday, but 11's the thing. You guys know.
Alrighty then. Well, I think, Kami, I think it's time. I think it's time to bring out our gracious hosts.
I think it's time. Let's do it.
You guys, please welcome your hosts for Rise and Shine with FilAm Creative, Ed Malilan and Rex Sampaga. I hear clicking.
Rise and shine, everybody.
Hey, Kami, can you tell those sirens that I'm in Nevada right now? We're not here in Los Angeles.
That's me. Yeah, and I know your whereabouts from 2 to 4 a.m. last night for sure.
Thanks for taking care of that.
We know it. Good luck. Don't get in trouble.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ronnie. Thank you, Kami. Hey, Rex. What's going on, Rex?
Oh, Mr. Ed. Hey, man. Episode 4.
Episode 4. Happy birthday. FilAm Creative is
happy birthday to FilAm Creative, the organization.
The only reason that I know how long I've been good friends with Rex is because of the age of FilAm Creative. So because FilAm Creative is 11 years old, Rex has been my brother for 11 years. That's
11
right.
years, man. We are still kind of considered young years-wise, but we've done some amazing things about these 11 years as an organization. And on a personal level, I'd love to, say that, I know we may mention this already, but FilAm Creative is a registered nonprofit organization, and we got that status, last couple of years. So very, very happy about that. So, people can be very safe and secure that they can donate to us and that their funds are going to be going to a worthwhile organization such as ours.
Yes, please Venmo us $5, 5 quid, 5 pesos, anything you can.
We'll take pesos, man.
We'll take anything. And please Venmo that to us, or just stick your head out your window and yell Rex, and he will show you how you can donate to FilAm Creative for our birthday, because it is our birthday month. It is a month of radiance. And hard to believe, Rex, that 1 year ago today, 1 year ago today.
1 year ago today,
we're in downtown Los Angeles celebrating our 10th anniversary. And the mayor, Eric Garcetti, even gave us a shout out. It was wonderful. And all our friends were there. And we hope to eventually get to another celebration. But we know that a lot of you are watching us on Facebook and soon on YouTube and through podcast form. So we thank everybody for supporting us today and in the future. Yeah. What is your favorite FilAm Creative memory of the last 11 years?
Oh, gosh.
I mean, I'm putting you on the spot.
No.
We don't rehearse. We never rehearse.
Yeah. This is not rehearsed. I guess it's just, for me personally, ever since the beginning, I'd loved programming our FAC music showcases, because there was really, other than other Asian programs around Los Angeles, I'm always about exposing and letting people know about up and coming independent Filipino American artists. And through our music showcases, we did about 5 or 6 of them. I believe the last one we did was in conjunction with a Halloween party. which was such a fun night.
Marina
So
Del
everybody
Rey.
in costume, but then they got a free concert. Basically, we exposed like 5 or 6 new artists that night, and that's always a joy for me because knowing that they performed in that and following their own individual artist's journey, they've gone on to do some amazing things within the industry and within their own artist lives and everything like that. So I'm just glad that we were just a small part in bringing them along on the journey and everything. So to me, that's always great. I mean, we used to do the music showcases at like Busby's.
At Busby's?
Mid Wilshire.
I rember we planned that first one together. Yeah.
Yeah, that first couple ones there. I believe we did one in Trip Lounge in Santa Monica. So I mean, I'm personally, I'm just really, really proud of that because we gave them an opportunity, we gave them a platform, and especially with our last year, you brought up our Night of Radiance. Again,
another great memory.
We had Alpha as our headliner that night, and she just rocked the house. You know, for those people who hadn't seen her before, now they know who she is, and her career is just taken off. I mean, it's just amazing to see that we were a part of that journey for her.
Absolutely. I think my favorite memory would be, or one of my favorite memories, there's so many. I think our first, or maybe our second or third speed networking event, that used to be our signature event for like the first 3 or 4 years. I remember it got so big at one point that the train of people at Busby's was like 110 people. Yeah. And for those of you who don't know, speed networking is kind of like speed dating. And I remember people would come in and they were like, wow, there's 110 people here for this thing. Do we get to have 109 quick little networking dates? And we were like, no, we're going to stop about 20. And, and people were getting upset because they were like, we really want to meet everybody. And, so many of our guests from those events have gone on to really, really outstanding, award-winning, creatively rewarding careers in entertainment and in media, and kind of like what you were saying with the music showcase. Just to know that FilAm Creative for the last 11 years has been part of so many of these success stories, not just in Los Angeles, but just everywhere. That's just very rewarding. So that's a great memory. Shout out to our other board director, Walter, who's probably sleeping right now because the Gators aren't on yet today. But and shout out to our executive board and all of our executive directors over the years who have helped FilAm Creative evolve into what it is now. And we're entering our 11th year. Wow, Rex, we're about to enter middle school. We're about to enter 6th grade here. We're gonna get high,
Yeah, we're going to probably go into a new level. I mean, I want to totally discount 2020 this year. I mean, I just feel like this year didn't even happen. So it's kind of like I'm looking at 2021 as the do-over.
Well, I know that everyone just loves to sit here and watch Ed and Rex babble for hours and hours. But I also know that many of our friends are here today to meet the director and the star and the producer from one of the best films in recent memory, probably the best film of 2020. So we want to go ahead and bring out our first guest. And don't forget, before we do, please put those questions in our chat box there for YouTube, and make sure that we can get, I'm sorry, for Facebook. Man,
Facebook.
I just woke up. But anyway, yes. So please get those questions. Jeremiah's going to be editing this later. Thank you, Jeremiah. But anyway, so please have those questions ready. And in about 20 minutes, we're going to be getting to the Q&A from our audience. But right now, we want to bring out our first guest. We have 3 guests today, but we want to bring out our first guest. She is a Filipino-American documentary and narrative and film commercial director, but she's best known for writing, directing, and producing the 2020 film Yellow Rose, which has had a great theatrical run. Thanks to our friends at Sony. We want to bring her out at this time. Ladies and gentlemen, let's meet the writer, producer, director of Yellow Rose, Miss Diane Paragas. Diane, come on out. Welcome.
Hey.
Rise and shine.
Yes.
Welcome.
A little bit later for us out here in New York City. So
that's right. Rise and lunch in
Rise and lunch.
It's 1 o'clock over there. Thank you for joining us today. Are you from New York?
I'm not. I'm from surprise, surprise, Texas, which is where Yellow Rose takes place. And I grew up in a small town in Texas, just like our heroine. So, but I have lived in New York my whole adult life. I kind of, I was unlike my character. I kind of got the hell out and moved to the Philippines.
Now, I actually did grow up in Dallas. So, yeah, I grew up in Dallas, and I spent, but I got out for college. But so where is where in relation to Dallas? All right, let's get geographical here for a second.
It's in the Panhandle. Lubbock is in the
Okay.
Panhandle.
Okay.
My parents ended up settling in Dallas too, so I know Dallas pretty well as well.
Mhm.
But it's in the Panhandle, kind of right below Amarillo. So we're up there, and the Dust Bowl, as they call it. So it's funny, every time I talk about Texas, a little Texas accent comes back. Like I noticed it with you too, Em. It's just like, hey y'all. Like it took me a while to not say y'all, when I moved to New York, because it just.
And how many times? I'm just curious. How many times as a person from Texas did you get? Oh, you don't speak with a twang. What is that possible? I mean, I got that question like every other time.
I think the main one for me is, are you Chinese or Mexican? Which is like, I'll put them together, kind of get a Filipino.
Wow.
that was the number one, Chinese or Mexican. I got that a lot. So.
Well, for those who have not seen, and if you haven't, what's the matter with you? But for those of you who have not seen Yellow Rose, let's catch everybody up. Diane, can you just give us a quick synopsis of what Yellow Rose is about for our fans who have not seen it yet?
Sure. Yellow Rose is the story of a 17-year-old Filipino girl who dreams of being a country singer. And just as we meet her, her mother, played by Princess Punzalan, who you'll meet in a minute, gets arrested by ICE and sent on the chopping block for deportation. So Rose begins this journey of trying to find a new home and eventually, hopefully, pursue her dreams to be a country music singer under threat of deportation.
Wow.
So it's a lighthearted comedy.
I was just going to say, it's a lighthearted rom-com, kind of a, popcorn kind of movie. But I just want to know, like, where did you get your inspiration for the film and for this wonderful project? I mean, I'm in love with I fell in love when I saw the movie. When I listened to the soundtrack, it's just, again, amazing. The music is just amazing.
Thank you.
And just from, and even just from a cultural point of view, it's just kind of like the story's sort of universal. Rags, person trying to follow their passion, follow their dreams, underneath the whole immigration issue, underneath that, but also from a musical standpoint, just from traditional country, not the country that we list that proliferates our mainstream media these days. The pop country that kind of setting in and everything. This is against traditional country, which I didn't really kind of grow up with it, but it's kind of like that's the real country music that my parents used to listen to. When they were just throwing records on the record player. Where did you get the idea for all of this to put all those elements together and everything?
So, a lot of people that study film, people tell you, write what you know. And I think that I kind of started from that place many, many years ago. It took me a long time to make this movie, but I grew up in Texas, like I mentioned before, and I didn't listen to that much country music. I was a bit of a rebel. I played in a punk band. So I didn't play music. I had a shaved head. I wore a dog collar. I had the black eyeliner. So that was my music. But later on, when I was living in New York and I wanted to come up with, my first narrative film, I kind of went back to my childhood and I thought, okay, all those feelings I was having, what if this character loved Texas? And the most fundamental thing about Texas country music, it was sort of like this starting point of a character you could really kind of root for. And larger than that, a great metaphor of the new American dream. So I wanted to tell a classic story. I wanted to tell a story that would be universal, as American as it is Filipino.
Right.
And so going back to my roots was a really great way of sort of coming up with this idea of this movie. It just took a really long time to convince financiers and people that this is a kind of movie that people want to see. And we're very blessed that we've been really critically acclaimed, as well as audiences embracing the film, which is what I was going for. So we did okay.
Amen. Well, we do want to keep talking about Yellow Rose, but we do have two more of our friends, who we want to bring out. Our second guest is a legend. You have seen her in many, many things. She's an award-winning actress, and perhaps her most popular role is from Mula sa Puso. And we want to go ahead and bring out Princess Punzalan. Princess, welcome. Welcome. There she is. And we also want to bring out the co-producer of this fantastic film, who's actually a good friend of FilAm Created. We want to bring out Jeremiah Abraham. Jeremiah, come on out.
Woo! Oh, woo! Yeah! All right. Yeah.
And we have to be proud of our own show, but I just want to say thank you for Yellow Rose now has the record for the most guests that FilAm Creative Rise and Shine has ever had on one show, because all those other episodes we've only had one guest, but you guys are so awesome that we have 3 guests. So I don't know. It's just trivia that one day someone will answer in a bar on a Tuesday night. But thank you for that. So.
Well, hopefully it'll be a Jeopardy question. Shout out to Alex Trebek and to his family. And
rest in peace, Alex. Yes.
Yes.
Let's get to Princess for a minute. I know we have 3 guests today. Princess, having come from working in the Philippines and then having a project working. I know you're here based in Los Angeles, like FilAm Creative is. But describe what it was like working with Diane in an American film, in an indie film, and compare that with your experiences working in the Philippines.
First of all, there was a cutoff time. In the Philippines, we used to work hours straight, but everything was planned, and we knew what we were going to do for the day. And before we got to work, we already knew what was going to happen. And that really helps a lot as a performer. You know what you're getting into for the day. And everyone was nice. Everything was organized. And I really loved it.
And Jeremiah, how did you get involved with the project? I mean, I know you from I'm going to give a shout out. I'm sorry, I have to say it. I want to give a shout out to bucketY.com. But how did you get exactly the founder right here? Another trivia night question. But Jeremiah, explain how you got involved with Diane in the project.
Well, I was actually introduced to Diane and Yellow Rose by the lead producer of the film, Cecilia Mejia. And so I think the thinking was, because my background is in PR and marketing, so we were wanting to make sure that was instilled in the film right from the beginning, that we're kind of thinking all of this stuff, before it even started production. So Cecilia introduced me to Diane. We had a fancy drinks at the Dumbo House. This was like, what, 2 or 3 years ago, Dan? I don't even remember, but
yeah, that's right.
And so we hit it off, and they brought me on. So I'm very honored that they thought I was good enough to join the team.
Absolutely. And Jeremiah, as someone who knows you, and I know you're very proud of your Filipino American heritage, like what's that like, promoting something like this to the Filipino American community and also beyond? What kind of experience must that have been for you?
Oh my God. Well, I mean, I've been trying to promote Filipinos for quite some time, as you mentioned with bucketY back in like 2007.
Yeah.
And that's how we all met. And so I think for a long time, I was trying to figure out, because working in entertainment as a marketer, I'm there promoting other people's work, whether that had good representation or didn't, or whether I liked the film or I didn't. And then I never thought that the skills that I learned as a marketer could be kind of applied to a production like Yellow Rose. So it was nice to be able to be part of something where you're controlling what people see on the screen. It was refreshing. It was rejuvenating. And I think I speak for everyone on the team, is that it felt very empowering to be able to put yourselves on there in the center of the story. So it felt great.
Yeah, upon watching the movie, this question is to the Princess. I mean, your character in the movie is just so universal. I mean, it's like I watched it with an audience. Most of the audience, I say all of the audience, was Filipino, a lot of Filipino aunties and lolas and their families. And what I got from them and their feedback, they related to your character as the mom, to Rose, and her struggle and her dilemma, and her dilemma, especially when the ICE came and during that dramatic scene when they raided the hotel. And they really related to your character, because even though you had gone through this dilemma, you still kept strong for not only yourself but also for Rose. And I just wanted to know how, where you got that inspiration, that motivation to play that, because it really resonated with the audience. That, at least when I watched the movie, screened the movie, it really resonated with the audience that night.
Well, I have a 6-year-old, and your view of the world changes once you become a parent. And I think all parents in any part of the world will have that love and dedication to protect your child.
Yeah.
And you will always want your child to have a better chance, a better future. So it was coming from that. The passion was coming from that thought and feeling. And I always looked at Eva the way I looked at my own daughter. And I tried to put my daughter in her position and try to think, what if my daughter was really going through this? How would I feel? What would I do?
Yeah.
Plus, also Diane is a very good director. She tells me what she wants and how she wants it played. And it was a very good collaboration.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Diane. I mean, just again, looking at the cast, I mean, Diane, I don't know if it was you or it was Jeremiah, it could have been the producers. How did you guys land Leia into this role? Just amazing.
Yeah, so this is a real fun fact. I think the very first project I ever directed was with Leia back in Manila. It was a short project I was doing with Discovery Channel, and she hosted the show, which was a sort of travel kind of history and modern arts kind of show, and she hosted it. And I was very young, she was very young, and then we kind of lost track. And when I came back and we were ready to cast the film, I actually wrote this part for Leia because she was really the only Filipino I knew growing up that had made it in the media. And my hopes for this film, I had very ambitious hopes for this movie. And the idea of having her in it just was like this nice circle of having this legend in this movie, which I hoped would make history, and it did, which I'm very proud of. But we were just very graced to have her in the film. So I had just cast Eva, who was finishing her run as Miss Saigon on Broadway.
Yeah.
And same thing, like I saw her in the play. I had dinner with her that night. I offered her the part on the spot to Eva. And a couple weeks later, once we knew we had her, Leia was also in New York, and she was in a play called Once This Island. So she was finishing the run there.
Finishing that run,
and I had dinner with her as well, and and I was like, listen, and she's like, oh my God, we worked together. And I was like, yeah, that's right. And she's like, you're the one that wrote this? I said, yeah. And then she said, you know, this is really special, and I need to be in it. I said, thank you. And that was it. So, I mean, I asked. I always tell my, I also have a 5-year-old daughter who's in the movie. She's the little girl in the film.
Yeah.
You know, just ask. Like, I think in my career, having, and because so much of your audience are creatives, I think that's probably my biggest advice is ask for help from people that you admire. And don't be afraid, because most people will say yes. That's been my experience. If you're coming from a place of genuine, you know, inquiry and genuine help, people want to help you, especially our community. I think we're at a really, really exciting time as creatives.
Yeah.
We're getting a voice. We're getting noticed. We're getting called up. I mean, some of the offers I've been getting are blowing my mind of how these movies are coming to me, and people wanting to come to me to ask about Filipino stories in the biggest possible scale you can imagine. And it's just really exciting, and hearing other filmmakers and their wonderful stories. It's a really special time. And again, like that boldness of just asking, and then the combination of just not giving up. It took me more than 15 years to get the film off the ground. I just never gave up. Because I somewhere along the line I started to believe in myself, but I believed more in the story and the universalness of the story, and the desire to tell stories of people that look like us, and have it out there in the biggest way we possibly can. The fact that Sony Pictures came up and stepped up. I mean, every time I stepped onto the lot at Sony, there's a big giant rainbow that's over the thing, and I'm literally walking under the rainbow. I'm like, this is happening. Beautiful. They bought my film, you know, and it's part of their, you know, history and
their catalog now.
If they're their catalog. And you know, for many weeks, as when we opened the film last month, we were you go to Sony Pictures and there's Eva's beautiful Filipino face on the front, and I just can't, or the poster in 900 theaters across the country in Canada. You know, seeing it next to Star Wars, next to Robert De Niro, those things matter. Those things matter.
No, they really do.
Like, who's that Asian girl with the guitar? But you know what? They're gonna find out about it.
They're gonna find out.
And those things matter.
Yeah, you know, you talked about how it's a special time right now, and you know, when the theatrical run started, you know, I'm sure Rex can relate to this. Like, I mean, our Facebook, our Instagram was like obliterated with all our friends saying, "You've got to see this movie. You've got to see this movie." And I mean, you know, I know you don't live in Los Angeles, but I know you're from Texas, and you know, I mean, people were driving to I know it was at a drive-in theater way out, and that's kind of like driving from Lubbock to Dallas. I mean, it was like a horrible drive in Los Angeles. People were driving to LA, to Orange County, down to behind the orange curtain to see this movie. And you know, I mean, there was so much outpouring of love and support for this. And you know, and I think a lot of Filipinos and film supporters, you know, they wanted to really express that, you know, hey, we're in a pandemic, but you've got to support this movie. We've got to see Filipino Americans on the screen. What was that like for you? As you know, I mean, obviously that had to have felt good. Talk about the experience of being a director of a Filipino film that's having a studio release. What's that got to be like for you?
You know, on one level, on a personal level, it's a little bit of validation, I guess. You know, that you know, I do have a voice, and it does matter to people, and I can tell a story. But as a Filipino, as a citizen of this country, just to see us be in the mix like this, and just to see the support, I watched videos of people at Mission Tika honking their horns and dancing and celebrating. It was beyond the film. It's beyond me. It's something else. It's this outpouring of pride. And I am so immensely proud to be a Filipino American, and I'm so proud of the people that came out to support the movie. I think when you finish a movie and it's up on the screen, it no longer becomes your film, it becomes the film of the audience. And you put your own feelings, like you said, Brax, you know, people put their own experiences and their own family members and think about their own lives. And then the film becomes something else. And I will say, a lot of people didn't get a chance to watch the movie. It didn't play in New York, it didn't play in LA, it didn't play in most places across America. I just wanna say to everybody, it's continuing on. We're going to have, I think you can already pre-order the film through Amazon, iTunes. Just to do a very small plug, if you go to yellowrosefilm.com, you'll see where to get the soundtrack, how to pre-order it, where it's playing. So you can find out, but we're moving into the next phase. So we do hope that a lot more people will see it. And I think this next phase is when most people will get to see the film, and please hang in there with us. And we are also preparing our Philippine release, which will be released in the Philippines by Stars Cinema and ABS-CBN, who are our producers. So stay tuned for that. We have a really exciting announcements over the next coming weeks about when and how we're going to release that film. So it's been a long journey. We had to release during a pandemic. You know, of course, it's like the first Filipino film to get released by a studio, and it's like pandemic. It's like typical Filipinos, but the way that people came out for us, it warmed my heart. I mean, Princess, what did you feel?
It just is so heartwarming to see people just come together and brave the pandemic. I mean, of course, everybody was being safe, but people sent messages to their friends and family, sharing the trailer, and everyone coming together and meeting in the theater. Like I myself met my I was meeting with a Zoom group on Zoom, and then the first time I met them was in the theater, and it was just wonderful seeing all these Filipinos come together to support this.
Wow. Yeah, you know, Jeremiah, hey, first of all, congratulations on your latest deal with, I believe it's the Mix Channel, I believe.
Yeah, we're working with ABS-CBN Global and Mix Global, as well as Collective Hustle, to help them get more visibility and, you know, expand their audience to, yes, Filipino and Filipino Americans, but whoever else might be interested outside of that. So we're very excited to support them.
Yeah, I mean, again, to the audience, I'm sorry, I had to congratulate Jeremiah on that. I saw it in the quote unquote the industry trades, and so I had to really congratulate you because I knew I was going to see you today, and I'm in the industry as well, so it's kind of like I was just super excited to see your name attached with ABS-CBN and the Mix Channel and all the wonderful stuff that they do on the global scale in terms of music and stuff. Diane had touched upon this. Just a quick question. I mean, so has the theatrical run technically ended per se because of the pandemic? It was like LA County their theaters were closed, but in Orange County, the movie theaters were open, but they were at 25%. San Diego County, the same thing. And so, you know, we have to go tell our people, go to Orange County, go to Anaheim, go to Buena Park, go to San Diego, you know, or drive in, 50 miles away in Montclair. You know, has it technically ended yet? I mean, can people still see it in the theaters right now?
It's still in theaters. The theatrical run, the theatrical window is still active.
Okay. It's
just obviously Sony is re-strategizing and starting to transition to a home entertainment release.
Yeah.
So if you go to yellowrosefilm.com or fandango.com even, I believe they have lists of theaters. And, you know, one of the things that we're still suggesting to audiences in order to watch Yellow Rose safely is to potentially buy out a theater. That was one of the big things that, and also one of the big opportunities that a lot of people were able to have during this pandemic, because usually buying out a theater is like a few $1,000s. And so now you know,
like
you can buy out
$150,
a theater
I think.
at a small percentage. I think so. I bought out a theater and it was only like $200, maybe $250, and some theaters are even.
You can four-wall your own screening. It's great.
Yeah. So, and
Yeah.
you know, Diane and I during opening weekend, we actually went to, as well as one of our writers, Annie Howell. We went to Jersey City, and to watch the film and also do a surprise Q&A with the audience. So that was pretty fun.
Wow.
But it was maybe 20 people on there, and the theaters were doing a really great job making sure that people were safe, people were social distancing, people were wearing masks.
Yeah.
So it is still in theaters. The option to buy out a theater is still available.
That's great.
AMC.com responds to you very quickly. So
yeah, I believe they had sent out a general public release saying that you can four-wall something for like $100 or something like that.
I think it's 150 in LA.
150 maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the promotion is over at this point, but it's still within that time frame. I mean, like when I was getting texts from my aunties going like, hey, should I buy a theater for my friends? And I'm like, okay, just be safe. And you know, just going back to Diane and Princess with how people were reacting, like like Filipinos don't tell you that they love you, they show it with action. So you know, every few days she'll send me like a screenshot of her text chain with her like other auntie friends, her like tita friends. They say like, hey, have you seen Yellow Rose? Like, we should go watch it together. It's Lea Salonga and Princess. I'm like so fans with that. And then they're sending this to my aunt, not realizing that she's related to me, who's part of the film. And you know, in the background, she's like, ha ha ha, like I know you already.
I know these people.
Like, that's how they tell you that they love you, because they just won't say it to your face, but they'll send you screenshots of texts with their friends.
Yeah, they're just showing their love and their enthusiasm and their, you know, especially to the older generation. I mean, just seeing their own people up on the screen. You know, that's a big thing. You know, that's a huge thing to our community.
Absolutely.
So,
and even I was even like with what Princess and Diane was saying, like I was feeling emotional, like looking through all the posts in the Yellow Rose Film hashtag, and seeing people actually wanting to run up to Eva's poster and taking selfies with it and taking pictures with their families, because they, even just the poster made them feel like they were seen, like they were actually valued by Hollywood and
it's gotta be
people
so rewarding.
outside the Filipino community, and you know, for girls and women and you know, whoever wants to be in this industry to see somebody like Eva on a movie poster, that's a big deal.
which, by the way, that was Eva's film debut, right? I mean, that in itself is freaking incredible, amazing. I mean, people know her from the stage, from the Broadway stage, but for her to play this role in her feature film debut,
Absolutely.
Yeah, I just want to say something about that really quickly.
Go ahead.
I think
Go ahead.
so much of the critical acclaim, you know, I cannot take the credit all by myself. I mean, Eva, Princess, Leia, Liam, you know, Dale Watson, Libby Villari, Gustavo Gomez. We had an incredible cast led by Eva, who gives an incredible performance. I do hope we get recognized a bit more as we get into award season, especially her performance and our music, which I think are real standouts in the film. But I couldn't have made this movie without that central performance. And it is a star making. She's a movie star. She's a movie star, just happens to look like us. And that's something I'm so grateful to her for, just giving that heartbreaking performance. That scene when Princess and Rose are separated, which you see in the trailer, I'm not giving any spoilers.
Yeah.
It broke all our hearts. I think it broke your heart, Princess, when we were shooting it. The entire crew was crying in tears. because we knew as we were shooting that it was happening in our country. It was happening at that very moment to many families as we were shooting it. The news was coming out with kids in cages, and we just felt, I think probably that day really changed the trajectory of the film, that we were all kind of in this thing that was very important and bigger than us. I mean, didn't you feel that way, Princess, in that scene? It changed. We all realized, wait a minute, this is something really special and important. So
yeah, that picture, that performance that Eva gave when she knew that her mother was being taken away from her, and her reaching out with her body outside of the car, screaming her lungs out, doing that probably 8 times over and over. I mean, it was a wonder that her voice didn't break, but I mean, she just gave it her all every time she did it. It was just.
And you too, Princess, you had to do that scene even more.
Yeah. It was like a picture of what is happening when parents get separated from their kids these days.
Mhm.
I just want to call out, like, everyone, Princess, responded to that scene where you yelled out "takbo." Like it hit me, and I think that was the moment in the trailer that I was like, okay, wow, like this is so real. Like your performance was so amazing, so spot on, and very relatable to a lot of people, not just Filipinos, but whoever else is going through that situation right now. So you really helped make this immigration story and our people more mainstream. Like they didn't need to know what takbo meant. Like you
felt it. You really felt it. Yeah.
So that was great.
Absolutely. We have a lot of questions from our audience. We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that in a few minutes. Ronnie is in my ear like a lot going, hey guys, we're running late, but we have 3 great guests, so it's okay, but we're the showrunners, so we've made the decision. It's okay. But we get to ask the last question, so we're going to ask one final question to Diane, and then we're going to go to audience Q&A. So Diane, we got to know what, I mean, obviously you've still got a long way to go with the promotion of this great film. We hope everyone goes and sees this film in some capacity, but they always ask you, what's going to happen next? What would you like to do next in a perfect world after Yellow Rose?
I've got a couple of things in cooking.
Cooking, yes.
I'm cooking up a lot of stuff. The script I'm writing right now is called Lizards. It follows the journey of a young Filipino girl who's growing up in Manila during World War II. So it follows her journey as she goes from a young girl into a guerrilla in the war. I'm actually writing it as a pop music opera. So it's a very audacious thing that involves magical realism, a war drama, and
that's interesting.
And music. So it's a very ambitious film. It's a big movie. I'm also attached to direct a film, which we'll announce soon, I think, but I've been working on it. And the producer is Eric Feig from Picture Start, who produced La La Land. And the other producer is Scooter Braun, who is manages Ariana Grande and Justin Bieber. They're both producing this, it's a love story called The Perfect Song, but that's all I can say about it now. But some really amazing award-winning stars are attached to that as well. So
yeah, Scooter Braun's a legend in this industry, man.
Yeah, Scooter and Eric Feig, who was
Eric for sure. Oh yeah.
So he's our other producer. So I'm working with some good people, and then finally there's another project I'm working on attached to with Atlas Entertainment, who produced Wonder Woman. So that's all I'm going to say about that.
Wow. Well,
that's all you got to say. That's all you got to say.
Rise and shine. This is Kami. I hope you're enjoying the show. Did you know we have a mailing list? And did you know that you can contact us if you want to say hello to Ed, Rex, Ronnie, Veronica, or even me? Just send us an email at RiseAndShineFAC. That's one word spelled out, RiseAndShineFAC@gmail.com. Again, That's RiseAndShineFAC, all spelled out, at gmail.com. Join our mailing list so you can be the first to find out about the latest Rise and Shine news.
We do want to thank Diane and Princess and Jeremiah for hanging out with us on a Saturday morning, or if you're in New York or somewhere on the Central and East Coast or elsewhere for your afternoon with Rise and Shine or Rise and Lunch. And Rex, man, this is a great episode so far. Do we have other guests coming up in the future weeks that we should probably plug, since so many people are watching us right now?
Yeah, I mean, gosh, we're only in the fourth episode, and we're coming around to the holidays and everything. Just to let everyone know, we will be dark the Saturday of Thanksgiving weekend because we want everyone to enjoy their turkey or whatever. Yeah, or whatever sides that you eat is paid. I'm not really a big turkey guy, but hey, as a Filipino family, hey, we usually just do the roast beef, the roast, and stuff like that. Anyway, that's just me. We will be dark. Our upcoming guest, we've got this great film, Yellow Rose. Hey, we got another great film coming out, Lumpia 2, Lumpia with a Vengeance. We have the producer, the director. That's gonna be great. We're great fans of these guys. We've been big fans. FilAm Creative has been a big supporter of Lumpia with a Vengeance, and so we're just so happy.
Friends of FilAm Creative.
Friends and supporters of them. They're almost like family. AJ and Patricio, they're going to come on. We're going to probably do after, in between Thanksgiving and Christmas, we will be doing a different kind of episode. We're going to be doing a health and wellness type of episode. Just so that we all, especially in this pandemic, we want everyone to be mentally healthy as well as physically healthy. So we're going to be touching upon a special episode on that. And as Ed mentioned in the beginning of the program, we're going to have Cobra Kai in this program for Rise and Shine. So that's going to be a great way to lead off into Christmas and everything. And that will end our season 1. I mean, I can't believe this.
And don't forget that next week, I know you guys are going to love this.
Yeah, next week.
We've got boba on the way. That's right. We've got boba experts coming on our show, and they're going to show you how to make boba, and they're going to show you how to make some great milk tea recipes so that your Thanksgiving has a little bit of some boba in it, some bubble tea for those of you on the East Coast. But,
that's right.
Exactly.
Right.
So we want to keep you on for next week as well. And don't forget that FilAm Creative is our sponsor this week. They are the producers of Rise and Shine. Please consider donating $5, £5 to keep our bills on, to keep the light on, to keep our Zoom account paid for. So please consider donating a few bucks. And with that, we want to thank everyone for coming out this week. And we've got time for Q&A. So can we bring out one more time our good friends Diane, Jeremiah, and Princess? And oh my gosh, the list of questions. I'm going to need a minute. I'm going to throw this back to Rex and make him ask the first question, because I gotta look through all this here. But Rex, I'm
no problem. Yeah,
co-host and making you start.
No. It's all good. I mean, we got a question from Nina, who is part of our executive board here at FilAm Creative. Thank you, Nina, for viewing. Thank you for all your help, Nina. That's our personal.
Thank you, Nina.
Stuff. Thank you so much. Her question is actually to the whole Yellow Rose team. She is asking. Let me bring it up here. Yeah, from start to finish, how long did the whole creative process of writing, creating this film, and bringing it to the theaters take? I mean, you might have touched upon this, Diane, in the earlier part of the interview, but she wanted to know, like, pretty much how long, how many years, basically.
It was a lot of years. I think at this point, it's about as old as Rose, which is 17 years old.
Yeah.
So she is the age of how long it took me to get this thing off the ground. I think when people say, oh, this film took me 10 years, 20 years to make, it's not like I'm sitting there trying to make it every day of my life. I did give up on it for a number of years. That's actually how I became a documentary filmmaker. But I would say, I think the main bulk of this particular team that got this film made, starting with Cecilia Mejia, I met her about 7 or 8 years ago. And from that point to now, is kind of the team that made this movie. And I think I met Princess about 5 years ago, who, by the way, was the first person who I cast. I mean, I gave her the part of the mother, even though she wasn't in our short. I wanted her to play the mother, and she stayed with this project. And thank you, Princess, for that. So we made a short film about 3 years ago, maybe a little bit more, and then we shot our movie over a year and a half ago, and then we premiered it last May, and it's taken all this time to get it out because of COVID. So it's just been a very unnaturally long time that this film has been waiting to come out.
How many days of principal photography and production?
We shot the film in 19 days with one camera. So it was a pretty exhaustive, and Princess will attest, all of the scenes in the detention center we shot in one day, which is a lot. And there's even scenes that we cut. There was a lot there. So we were on this like breakneck pace, and it was very challenging with a very, very limited budget, well under $500,000.
Was this shot in Texas, or was it shot in multiple?
It was shot in Texas, and we did do one day in the Philippines, which was a pickup. So that's in addition to the 19 days when, we had to raise a little bit more money. And I was visiting my brother during the Christmas holidays, and I'm like, oh, we got enough to shoot this one scene, which was, we were hoping we could raise more and do it, but we had a finished film at that point. So that was sort of gravy on top, and we got to take Princess out there and shoot those scenes. I won't spoil it, but there was a little bit shot there. It was hard. It was hard, but I had an incredible crew. Shout out to August Thurmer, our incredible cinematographer, who I think shot this very beautiful film. And I came from directing commercials, so I had a lot of favors I pulled in, and so did August. And so between the two of us, we really, we shot with a very, with a cinema camera. We shot on the Area Alexa, for those of you who are film nerds, and we shot on vintage Kawa anamorphic glass, like they shot the old Westerns on. So I shot anamorphically, and I got to do all the things I wanted to do, but on a very tight budget and very small crew for a movie this size.
Oh, Diane.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I think Diane, it would be interesting for you to share also your how the procedure, your process, and how you wrote the script and the songs.
Yeah, so I was very involved in the songwriting as well as the stories, and we wrote some of the songs for the short. So Square Peg, which is our main song, was co-written between the star of the short, Thea Magia, who's an incredible musician, finalist in American Idol, and a great recording artist, played Rose in our short, and she wrote the melody for Square Peg, and then we kind of all got together and wrote the lyrics and built out the song more between myself and Dale. And then a lot of the music is Dale's. I wrote a song on my own called Quietly Into the Night, and I just felt that the music, when you watch the movie, the music had to be just right. It had to sound like it emanated from this girl with all of the influences from the story. So we were writing from this idea of this character, and what would the records that she listened to be? And I chose her to be kind of like an old soul. She listened to Townes Van Zandt and Johnny Cash and Emmylou Harris and Dolly Parton, and you can hear that music in the sound of our film.
I really think, I listened to the whole soundtrack from top to bottom, even the orchestral cues. I'm just a freak like that. But anyway, if anyone did not see the movie, my personal opinion is if you hear Quietly in the Night, you pretty much have the essence of the movie. That's just what my opinion is. Just because the lyrics are so strong, the melody is so strong, but when you really listen to the song, that's the essence, I think, of
I have a good little fact from that. I wrote that song during the shoot because I felt like we didn't have another song, and I wanted a song that that kind of embodied how she had changed in the film and how she had evolved as an artist and how the life and the things that happened to her affected her music. So, and as I got to to feel the world more. I was inspired by it. You know, I could see the characters, I could feel the characters. So when we would rap at night, I would be with my guitar in my room, like finishing that song and writing the lyrics. And I would play a little bit for Eva and Dale. I'm like, what do you think about this? And she'd sing it, and she's like, oh yeah, it sounds right, but maybe this. And then I'd go back and write it more. So the last day after we rapped, we recorded that song right before Eva left to go to London for Hadestown.
My gosh.
It was like a Hail Mary pass, but I think in so many ways, because it emanated from the actual shooting and from the feeling of the movie. You're right. It was the most pure to what we were making.
Everything felt so organic.
Yeah.
It just sounds like in this process. Go ahead, Ed.
Diane, I want to read some comments here from the fans, and then I've got a question for you. Let's see. Orsal says, oh my God, thanks, Diane, for your support for FilAm Stories. Sean Marie says, it's great to see a Filipina play not a nurse part. Kirby Ortego says, it no longer becomes a film, it becomes a film of the audience. I love that. I think she was going back something that you said that she really appreciated. And here's a question for you. Someone says, for Diane, what was the name of your band?
Okay, I'm going to get super embarrassed here because the name of the band was Avant Garde, which...
Wow, okay.
So bad,
yeah.
So teenage, so thinking I was cool, and it was not cool. But we did record an LP that played on the Lubbock radio station. I wish I could remember the name of this. It was equally a bad name of the song, but it played on the radio when I was in high school. So I had a little bit of that gumption even back then. But that's great. They played it on, they indulged us.
I feel like we have so many questions here that have a similar thread, so we probably should, it's worth saying again, so we should wrap with this question. Maybe Diane or Jeremiah can answer this one. How can we watch Yellow Rose? We always need to promote Yellow Rose. How can we watch Yellow Rose?
The best way to look for movies where it's playing in theaters is fandango.com or yellowrosefilm.com. And as I mentioned before, we're in the very early stages of being able to pre-order the film. I can't give a date when it's actually released, but that you can buy the DVD or you can pre-order the DVD, and as well as digital downloads, I think already. And there's a couple of things that we link to on our website. And the soundtrack, we are available on Amazon Music, iTunes, or Apple Music, it's called now, Spotify. And you can also buy the music digital as a digital download as well on a lot of those platforms. So I think it's across many platforms. Again, you can look on our website and see some places where you can get that. And then finally, the Philippines. Jeremiah, you want to take that one?
Well, yeah, we're working with ABS-CBN, as Dan mentioned, and Star Cinema to release the film in the Philippines. The date is still TBD, given the state of theaters over there. But right now I don't know if I can reveal that we are, no, I can't.
We don't want to get you in trouble. We don't want
good information, but it's good information.
Dan just gave me a look. So more information to come. And yes, a lot of people are excited in the Philippines to watch it. So
yeah, I think the big headline is we will be playing in the Philippines, likely at the end of the year, beginning of next. We don't know yet. And so we have to be vague about it, but we will be making announcements quite soon about how we're releasing that film.
And by the way, for the audience out there, for the soundtrack, go get it. If you can't watch the movie right now, go get the soundtrack. I highly recommend it. Square Peg. I think that was the first single, if I'm not mistaken. Beautiful song, and listen to the rest of the tracks. And by the way, Leia's rendition of Dahil Sayo a cappella. That's all I got to say. Anyway, that's all I got to say. Go ahead, Jeremiah. Yeah.
I just chime in. I saw a question that said that it's great to see Asian representation in Hollywood, but what can people actually do to help support? And I would love to think that Hollywood is all about the stories and all about, making sure that people are seen authentically. But realistically, Hollywood is a business. I mean, we have to show up. If you want to support, if you want to see more of a particular story of a particular people, you have to show up with a ticket. I mean, I can't stress that enough.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Granted, we are in a pandemic right now, but Yellow Rose is not the only Filipino film that you can support. I mean, there are Filipino films right now, Filipino American films that are in film festivals. You have Girl Who Left Home, you have Lumpia 2, that you can now watch on digital. So if we actually go out as a community and buy those tickets, and again, like a little plug, when Yellow Rose does come out on home videos on digital platforms, you can pre-order, you can buy the film, you can watch it with your family. But I think that's the best thing that we can do, is actually show up for these films, because we can't just keep talking about wanting representation and not showing up.
Supporting it, absolutely.
That's exactly right.
Well
exactly
said.
Right.
Well said.
Exactly right. So hey, as we're wrapping up our program, again, on behalf of me and Ed and Rise and Shine, want to thank Princess Punzalan, Diane Paragas, Jeremiah Abraham, the cast and crew of Yellow Rose. Thank you for coming out on a Saturday. I know you got for the East Coasters, it's a Rise and lunch. I know it's
It's gonna be rising dinner soon. So.
Right, exactly. Thank you for contributing your time, your talent, your treasure to us. I can only say, people, go watch this film, go support it. Like I did. When it was in Orange County, I just went to the theaters and bought tickets because I wanted the dollars.
People just buying the tickets.
I bought tickets just because I already seen the film, but I already know how great it was. I just bought tickets, man, because it's like I wanted those box office to report
the data
numbers exactly. And so
I want to thank everyone who did that, because I don't know that everybody knows this fact, but we were the #1 specialty movie in the box office for 2 weeks, our first 2 weeks.
Wow.
We stayed at #5, but underneath horror films and Robert De Niro. And so all of that incredible support actually paid off. And I just want to thank the Filipino community, because they were a huge part of its success.
I agree. Amen. Amen. So thank you guys again for coming on Rise and Shine. Come back anytime. If you want to plug in your new projects, especially you, Diane, you, Jeremiah, come on. Princess, when you can talk about your new projects, please come back anytime, so that we'd love to have you guys back. Again, everyone, thank you. Princess Punzalan, Diane Paragas, Jeremiah Abraham, give a round of applause to these three. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. And I want to thank my co-host, Rexan Paga. We've got to throw it back to Kami and JC backstage. And Ronnie, thank you for supporting Rise and Shine Film Creative. We're going to close with our final cast member, who's going to, I hope this time, be interesting. Sometimes she's not. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Veronica.
I didn't realize this film was going to be so sad and so inspiring. And I wish I could sing a country ballad, but instead I'll just wear this hat. So I think the best we can do is just read the credits. No, the best we can do.
Go ahead.
Unbelievably early time on a Saturday, we can just read the credits and know that there's an amazing film out there that we all should go see.
That part we
do that instead of watching this. I mean, maybe just a suggestion. Rise and Shine with FilAm Creative was created by Edward J. Malillan and Rex A. Sampaga. Rise and Shine with FilAm Creative was produced by Edward J. Malillan and Rex A. Sampaga. Rise and Shine with FilAm Creative was written by none other than Edward J. Malillan and Rex A. Sampaga. Rise and Shine with FilAm Creative stars Kami, my sister Ronnie, They're both friends of Edward and Rex. And Rise and Shine with FilAm Creative's technical director is another guy named Jeremiah. We can't afford the other Jeremiah who just came on here. Maybe one day we could. I don't know. They don't pay me anything. Also, they don't pay me anything, guys. He's also a friend of Edward J. Malillan and Rex A. Sampaga. And finally, we'd like to thank today's guest, the only good part of the show, the team from Yellow Rose, Diane Paragas, Princess Punzalan, Jeremiah Abraham. There's some real talent there, so go follow them. Go do that. I'm supposed to read this too. If you want to follow this show online, show? Really? We're calling it that, huh? Show.
Oh my God.
On Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and all of those other places you waste your time at RiseAndShineFAC. You guys, my name is Veronica, and if I can sing a song,
please don't.
No.
Let you know you've just watched an episode of Rise and Shine with FilAm Creative, starring Edward J. Malillan, Rex A. Sampaga.
Again.
Oh my gosh.
Toodaloo, everybody. Toodaloo.
Hey everyone, Rex here with Rise and Shine. Did you know that you have not one, not two, but 3 different ways you could check out the show every week? New episodes drop every Tuesday on our YouTube channel at RiseAndShineFAC. And you can listen to this podcast dropping every Wednesday by downloading Rise and Shine wherever you find your favorite podcasts. And if you want to watch us produce the show live, don't forget that we tape on Saturday mornings on Facebook Live, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So that's 3 ways you can improve your Rise and Shine diet every week. YouTube Tuesdays, Podcast Wednesdays, and live every Saturday on Facebook. Thanks again for watching and listening to Rise and Shine.
Rise and Shine. Hey guys, it's Ed. Thanks for listening today. And did you guys know that Rise and Shine is part of the FilAm Creative umbrella and that we're a registered nonprofit? And as a nonprofit organization, FilAm Creative depends on generous donations from fine folks like you to help us to continue to produce great programming like Rise and Shine. Please consider making a donation to help produce shows like Rise and Shine. Our Venmo is at FilAm Creative. That's at FilAm Creative. And if you don't do Venmo, but you still want to donate a few quid to us, then drop us an email at RiseAndShineFAC@gmail.com. That's RiseAndShineFAC@gmail.com, and we'll help you out. We at Rise and Shine appreciate your generosity. Every dollar helps.
Hey, Rex here with Rise and Shine, and I want you to do something for me. Help support Rise and Shine by liking, subscribing, and following the show online. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, all under at RiseAndShineFAC. So follow the show on all social media platforms on all one word at RiseAndShineFAC. Thanks again for all the love and support, and tell all your friends about Rise and Shine.
Rise and shine! This is Kami. I hope you're enjoying the show. Did you know we have a mailing list? And did you know that you can contact us if you want to say hello to Ed, Rex, Ronnie, Veronica, or even me? Just send us an email at RiseAndShineFAC. That's one word spelled out, RiseAndShineFAC@gmail.com. Again, that's RiseAndShineFAC, all spelled out, @gmail.com. Join our mailing list so you can be the first to find out about the latest Rise and Shine news.
Rise and Shine. Hey everyone, this is Ed, and I got a question for you. Did you know that Rise and Shine is only one of the many things produced by FilAm Creative? That's right, FilAm Creative has been producing great stuff, like Rise and Shine, for over 10 years. If you want to learn more about the premier Filipino-American organization that has been the #1 advocate for the Asian American entertainment community for over a decade, then visit our website at filamcreative.org. That's filamcreative.org. Learn more about the organization that produces your favorite show, Rise and Shine.
Hi, this is Walter Boholst. I'm proud to be one of the co-founders of FilAm Creative and serve as a member of the board of directors. In case you didn't know about us, I'd like to share with you our mission statement. FilAm Creative Incorporated educates and advocates for the Filipino-American entertainment community and all looking for a collaborative workspace in order to achieve greater representation and career advancement. Although we're based in Southern California, FilAm Creative's reach can be felt worldwide. If you're interested in joining us behind the scenes to produce or promote our many programs and initiatives, visit our website at filamcreative.org. That's filamcreative.org, and contact us to learn how you can join our cause. For students, we also have internships available for you to gain valuable experience. Visit us to learn more at filamcreative.org.
Rise and shine. Hey guys, it's Ed. Thanks for listening today. And did you guys know that Rise and Shine is part of the FilAm Creative umbrella and that we're a registered nonprofit? And as a nonprofit organization, FilAm Creative depends on generous donations from fine folks like you to help us to continue to produce great programming like Rise and Shine. Please consider making a donation to help produce shows like Rise and Shine. Our Venmo is at FilAm Creative. That's at FilAm Creative. And if you don't do Venmo, but you still want to donate a few quid to us, then drop us an email at RiseAndShineFAC@gmail.com. That's RiseAndShineFAC@gmail.com, and we'll help you out. We at Rise and Shine appreciate your generosity. Every dollar helps.
Rise and shine. Hey guys, Ronnie here. I know my sister Veronica likes to mess with the crew, but we all really work hard to produce a quality program for you. Rise and Shine is produced by FilAm Creative in association with RAS Music Group and Millennius LLC. Rise and Shine is written, created, produced, and hosted by Ed Malillan and Rex Sampaga. It also features Veronica Cunyaso, Kami Koyamko, and me, Ronnie Cunyaso. I'm also our show's stage director, which isn't easy when you gotta keep Ed and Rex in check. And finally, our amazing technical director is Jeremiah Castro. Thanks for tuning in every week to FilAm Creative's #1 show, Rise and Shine.